Hello, welcome back to Dartmoor Reach Alpaca Farm, Yoga and Glamping. Today I'm going to show you how to make the best pancetta that I've ever tried. Pancetta is basically an Italian bacon, and this recipe is a river cottage recipe. Hugh Fernley Whittingstall, and it's called Ray's Rolled Pancetta, and it is delicious. So here we have the cure. We have here 200 grams of soft brown sugar. We have 40 grams of crushed juniper berries. We have 16 grams of grated nutmeg under here, under the salt. We have 200 grams of pure dried vacuum salt. That's pure dried vacuum salt, not normal salt. It's special curing salt. We have 80 grams of coarse ground black pepper, 16 sprigs of thyme, 16 shredded bay leaves, and some crushed garlic. So this is going to make up the cure, which we're going to rub all over the pork belly, and we will do that now. I will mix this up in a big bowl, and then we'll get it rubbed all over the pork belly. So we'll just move this across, put our bowl down, add most of the ingredients apart from the thyme into the bowl. Give all that a really good mix round, breaking up all the soft brown sugar. It's going to make me sneeze in a minute, all this pepper. And then we will get a tray to put one of the porks in, like that. Get one of the bellies onto that, and then we're just going to put half of this mixture, in fact we'll put a quarter of it on this side, and then turn it over and put the rest on the other side. Obviously a lot's gonna drop off when we turn it over, but that's okay. Press it right in. Made a bit of a mess. Put a quarter more on this side. Really press that all in again. Right old mess now. So that's one done. The other tray. Put that one in, put a quarter of the mixture over there. Put the last of the mixture on that. Spread all that out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit more greaseproof paper. I'm going to put a few sprigs of the thyme actually over this. And then I'm going to put a bit more greaseproof paper over this one to cover that. And then I'm going to put the other one on top of this one. And then I'm going to put them both in the fridge. So just let me get the bit of greaseproof. So I'm going to put a bit of greaseproof over that one. Then I'm going to put the other one on top. Put some more of the thyme on top of that. And then I'm just going to cover that one with a bit more greaseproof. And we're going to put that in the fridge for 4 days. I might put something on the top to weight it down. Or it might be okay as it is. But I'm just going to lift up these two now, as like that, as one, and put them in the fridge and leave them there for 4 days. And then we'll come back and have a look. Right. It has been 4 days. I've just got the pork out of the fridge. Let's have a look. Look at that. So you will see here that an awful lot of moisture has been drawn out of the meat. And that's the salt doing its job. But what I'm going to do now is I want to remove the pork from these trays, and I'm now going to vacuum seal it. And what that will do is I'll put it in a vacuum bag and then seal it with this vacuum sealer, and that will draw all the air out, and it will really sort of press the cure into the meat, into the pork there. I could have actually done this rather than putting it in the tray to start with, but I didn't have the vacuum bags and they've only just turned up. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'm going to put it back in the fridge for another couple of days just to really intensify all this lovely curing sort of mixture here. It's almost like a marinade really. But it's, like I said, there's quite a lot of moisture on here, so I'm going to try and take that out of the tray, dry the bottom bit, so I'll just put it on this kitchen roll, get a bit more, and then see if we can vacuum seal it in the bag. Smells absolutely amazing. Right, put that there. Now I will get the vacuum seal bags and see if I can put that in the bag without making too much of a mess, which is probably going to be impossible. So let's try. Right. Right, so that's in the bag. Just wipe my hands off, move this tray, and see if we can seal this with the vacuum sealer. Quite a satisfying job this, if it works. Right, close that down, press vacuum seal. As you can see, all the air is being drawn out of the bag now. And you can see how it's really sucking all the air out. And while it's doing that, it's done already, it's really sort of compressed the plastic bag onto the meat there. So it's really sort of pushing all that cure into the meat. That's just sealing now. The lights come on for the seal. And then when that light goes out, that will show that the bag has been sealed. And that will be it done. Oh, it's gone out. There you go. So that's that done. As you can see, all the air has been brought out of the bag. You can now open that up and you can see, like I say, that all that cure now is sort of being pushed into that meat. It's really sort of compressing into that meat now, which will just intensify the flavour even more. Let's see if I can do the other one. Put those bits of kitchen paper, I'll get some new ones. Lay that on here. There's the other bit of belly. Away. Looks amazing, and the smell is just incredible. It smells a bit like sort of salami. Let's see if I can get this one into the bag. Right, now I will do the same thing and see if I can get a good seal on this vacuum bag. So we just put that into the vacuum sealer, close the lid down, press vacuum seal. And again, you can see all the air being sucked out of that bag now. And while that's happening, that's really pushing all the herbs and the cure onto the meat. There you go. And the seal button, or the seal light, is just on, showing that it's now sealing it. So when that goes out, I'm just going to put these 2 bits of meat now. That's done. There, nice and tidy. I'm going to put these back in the fridge now for another couple of days, just to really intensify that flavour. And then we'll go on to the next part. So here are our pork bellies out of the fridge. And they've actually been in the fridge. I've left them in there for a bit longer than I thought. They've been in there for 3 days now. So I'm just going to cut these open. And what we need to do now is take the bellies out of these bags and rinse all that cure off. See all that lovely cure there? We're going to rinse all that off with cold water until it's completely clean, and then pat it dry. Right, I've now washed off all that cure. So rinsed all that off completely, and I'm just passing the meat dry now, getting it as dry as I can. And then what we're going to do is put the meat fat side down, so turn this over, and then I've got 40 grams of coarse black pepper, which I'm going to sprinkle over there. This is enough for the 2 bellies, so I'll put half on here. It looks like an awful lot, doesn't it? But that's what the recipe calls for. And then what we want to do is roll this up, and the recipe asks for tying it with a butcher's knot. I don't have any string, so I have improvised, and I'm going to use cable ties. And I've actually tried this method before and it works very well. So I will just show you how I do that. So try and roll that around. This is the tough bit, is trying to roll it around nice and tight. That's pretty good. So now going to put, it says start in the middle, so I'm going to put this first one in the middle of the meat and get that as tight as you can. Bit tricky when can't grip it that well, but the good thing about cable ties is you can get it pretty tight. Now what I'm going to do before I forget is just put another cable tie in there, because that's what I'm going to hang it with, and then I can do that one up as tight as I can get it, which is pretty tight. Surprising how tight you can get it easily. Easily as tight as you'd get it with a butcher's knot, if not a bit tighter. So now do the next one. I've got 5 cable ties per piece of meat. Sounds a bit odd using cable ties, but like I say, it works so well. To get it really nice and tight. This one on here. Oh. One more this end. Pepper's going to make me sneeze in a minute. Oh, that's pretty good. And one more this end, we'll make it 5. The smell of this pancetta already is amazing. Get that bit out before it gets trapped. Pretty much as tight as I can get that. I get that bit out, and like I say, what I'm going to do now is use this little bit to hang it. I'll put another cable tie on there, and then that is what we're going to use to hang it, because the next stage is to hang it up to let it dry. So there you go. That is the last bit of sort of preparation that we do before the final hanging process. So I will get the other bit and do the other bit now. So here is the other bit of belly. We're again going to lay that fat side down, sprinkle that with the remainder of the pepper. Again, roll it as tightly as we can. It doesn't taste actually as peppery as you would think it would with all this pepper. Right, so first cable tie in the middle. Putting our other one to hang it in. Like I say, these cable ties are great if you're not good at butcher's knots. I haven't really practiced a butcher's knot enough to know whether I'm good at it or not. And then we're going to work our way from the middle out. Nice and tight. It's tight. One more on this end. And you can get your belly pork from any butcher. You'll just want to ask for it boned, as in the bone taken out. Just going to trim up these cable ties now. And now finally we're going to hang it, and it needs to be hung in a humid place. That's what the recipe asks for. So that's the cable ties all trimmed up, a bit neater, and now we just need to hang the meat. The recipe actually says hang in a cool, humid place. So because we're lacking on space a little bit here, there was only one place that I could really think of, and I won't tell Natalie. So this is my meat now hung up. I've just hung these above the fridge and put a tray underneath. You might get the odd drip from it, but it'll just start drying out now. Like I say, a cool, humid place is what the recipe calls for, and that's staying up there for 4 days now. So we will come back to it then. So the meat has now been hanging for 4 days, and I've just got it down. Let's have a little look. I'll take off these cable ties. In fact, all I'm going to do is take off the middle one, because it's easier to slice with the other two on. And I'll cut it open and we will see how it looks. Look at that. That is some good pancetta. But the only way to really find out how good it is the taste test.